because there's more vital organs that requires the same nutrients that our hair needs. And your body is smart enough to know, it's like, well, I need to rebuild the heart tissue. So bump this hair thing. Hello, welcome to the channel. This is Trina Claiborne, your 4C hair transformation coach. If you are new here, welcome, and I'm so glad you're here. Where today we are going to go over some lifestyle hacks that will change the trajectory of your menopausal hair loss. And here's something that I think it's important for you to know. There's 4 things, as we just naturally grow older, there's 4 things that happen. Number 1, we start to lose stomach acid. We start losing muscle loss. We lose bone density. And of course, our hormones go out of whack, right? Now, unfortunately, as a woman, and when you hit perimenopause and menopause stage, those events increase at a rapid rate. Why? Because during that time we lose a lot of estrogen or estradiol that was released by the ovaries, and we lose testosterone, progesterone, and a lot of other hormones as well go out of whack. But one of the hormones that is a big contributor of the hair loss is called, I'm gonna try to pronounce it, dihydrotestosterone. It's also known as DHT. This little hormone, when it increases, it not only shortens the growth stage of our hair, but it prolongs the telogen stage, which is the resting stage. It shrinks your hair follicles. So after a while, you start to see the thinning, right? So what I'm going to do on this video, I'm going to give you 8 lifestyle hacks that can help stop this process, right? Now, from this list, I'm going to go with the least obvious to the most obvious, okay? So, and I got my notes here because I don't want to miss a beat. Now, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so that you will not miss another video. So let's get into the 8 lifestyle hacks. Okay, the first one is we've got to get our stomach acid to increase. Why? Because protein and minerals are the most difficult nutrients to process or to absorb. And if your acid levels are too low, it can't pull that process off. Your stomach acid should be on a pH scale between 1 and 3. And when it is, and you do consume protein, if your stomach acid is at that level, there's another enzyme that it will produce called pepsin, right? In addition to another enzyme that is responsible for proteins called proteinase. So those 2, along with a high stomach acid, will help your digestive system to break down that tissue to be able to extract those proteins. So if your stomach acid is not high enough and you're eating protein, but you're not absorbing the protein, and that will contribute to your hair loss, because what? Your hair is made out of protein. So it needs protein to rebuild the protein fibers in your hair. Okay? So I know you're asking yourself, how am I going to increase my stomach acid? I know, and that's a great question. The first thing, if you are taking antacids, you definitely want to stop doing that. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to explain it based upon how the human body works. Okay? At the bottom of your esophagus, there's this little flap called the sphincter flap. And God made that flap to only open when you're swallowing food, right? So if your stomach acid is high enough on the 1 to 3 on the pH scale, it would automatically flap back up, right? So to prevent the acid from going up to your esophagus. But if your stomach acid is too low, then it's going to stay open after you eat food. And then you're going to feel the stomach acid coming up through your esophagus, and you feel that burning. So that's why once you understand how the human body works, then you'll know what solutions to apply. Okay? So the question is, how do I get my stomach acid to increase? Now, one of the things that I've been doing when I first started on this journey, if you've been on my channel, you know that this is one of the things that I did. So I started taking butane hydrochloric acid with peptins and gelatin bitters. I think that's what you call it. I'm going to put it right here. And I will put a link to this. And I suggest that when it comes to supplements, definitely consult with your physician. But I take this as a concoction like every 2 to 3 days. I do 2 tablets, and I put it in a 1.5 cups of water with 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and I also add Body Health Perfect Aminos, just for me to get some protein, or the building blocks for protein. I add that. You don't have to do that, but that's something I do simply because of my lifestyle. I'm starting to weight lift. But once I started doing that, I don't have any problems. So, and it's important because protein and iron is some of the two things that you need for your hair to grow. So that is a solution that I've done, and it has worked wonders for me. Okay, the second lifestyle hack is to increase your protein intake. That is so important because of the number one, where our stomach acid has decreased. That means your absorption is going to also decrease. So in order for you to get the adequate amount of protein, not only to rebuild your muscles, because remember, one of the things that happen is that we lose muscle, but you also gonna need the protein for your hair, right? And like I said on other videos, our hair is on the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to nutrients, because there's more vital organs that requires the same nutrients that our hair needs. And your body is smart enough to know, it's like, well, you know, I need to rebuild the heart tissue. So bump this hair thing. So that's why it's important for you to increase your protein to build muscle, right? And to also build hair, because I'm going to talk a little bit about muscle, but when we get to this age, protein and muscle is the key to longevity, and we're going to get to that. All right. So now, when it comes to the protein, how do you want to go about getting adequate amount of protein? Based upon the research that I've seen, it's 1 gram per body weight or 1 gram per desired body weight, right? Now, of course, you definitely want to be weightlifting in order to support that. But that is the rule of thumb. And so and I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say you weigh 120 pounds, or you want to weigh 120 pounds. Well, then if you eat 3 times a day, that is 40 grams of protein at each meal, right? So that way you're getting a little bit of it at a time. And I know that for most people, are not eating nearly that amount, not just for the meat protein, but some of the other foods that you're getting in your diet is going to contribute to that total amount of protein. So you want to keep an eye. I'm not one for counting calories, but I do make sure that I am protein focused in my diet. That was number 2. All right, and well, before I go on, another thing, 'cause I got my notes here. Another thing about protein, which is a good idea for you to focus on it, especially for those of you want to get to your desired rate. Remember, protein is one of those satiating nutrients, which means it activates the satiation hormone so that you're not hungry between that meal and the next meal, so you're not snacking, and so you end up in a caloric deficit. Right? Okay. And then the third life hack is cut out all processed food, all of them. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, those foods are laced with chemicals that mimic estrogen, right? But it's the wrong estrogen. It is the estrogen that God did not make, right? And because it is, it's going to cause inflammation. And what happens when your body is inflamed? There won't be any hair growth, right? And then the other thing about these processed food, some of them have chemicals, depending upon what it is that you're eating, it has chemical that activate DHT. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So that is the second reason why you want to get processed foods out of your diet. And you know, on my channel, the playlist Recipes for Massive Hair Growth, that channel is designed to help you to start tweaking your diet. And it is a support of my diet transformation ebook, and you can take advantage of that because in that ebook it gives you a lot of solutions for the challenges that we're having right now today, especially at this age, with digestive issues, with inflammation, chronic stress, figuring out how to transition from these foods that we're addicted to. This book is your friend, okay? And I would like for you all to contribute to that playlist. And thank you for the ones that have bought this. And I know that it is giving you some new directions on what you need to go. And it not only is going to help you with your hair, but your overall health as well. And I thank you so much for all of those who have purchased the book. And we're going to definitely see our hair flourish one bite at a time and one recipe at a time. Okay. And the fourth lifestyle hack is regular scalp massages. Now, I've come across the Grow Band Pro, where I learned that there's a proper way to massage the scalp, that skull overhead, you know, where you are moving your skull over your head and causing massive hair growth, because that's going to stimulate blood flow, waking up those follicles to bring in more nutrients to those follicles, and you start to see the growth, right? With that, you got to be consistent with regular scalp massages. And the fifth lifestyle hack is regular exercise. Now, there's three things about regular exercise. Number one, it will definitely help you with blood flow, not with just your scalp, but with your entire body. It's bringing nutrients. It's just bringing life into your entire body. That's one thing. The second thing, you can use it to increase your muscles, right? Because the more muscle mass you have, the more carbs you can eat. But muscle mass is a hormone regulator. It helps regulate your hormones, because it is kind of like, to give you an analogy, muscle, the bigger your muscle, the bigger the stores of glycogen it can hold, which means carbohydrates, and it's not floating outside in your bloodstream causing inflammation. So if you increase your muscles by doing strength training, it can help you that way. And then the third thing, doing jump training will also help increase your bone density. Now, when I say jump training, I don't mean plyometrics on how far you can pop up in the air. That's a power move, right? Where you're jumping up and you're landing on the balls of your foot. This jump training is where you're landing flat. Now, if you have hip issues or knee issues, there are some other things that you can do, like leaning up against a wall of your whole body and bouncing off and just getting that tension that way, right? So all of those types of move is going to increase your bone density, and you definitely want that at this age and stage of life. Bone density, increased muscle, protein intake. Those are the things that you want to do, because that's going to be not only the foundation for your health, but if those things are in place, you're going to see hair growth as well. Okay? Let's look at the sixth thing. Now I'm getting to the most obvious, is drinking water. Now when I say drink water, I mean quality water. And why? It's because water is what's going to keep your blood fluid enough so that when you are exercising or when you are massaging your scalp, that it's easily to flow and move those nutrients to your follicles. So drinking water. Now one of the things, I say filter water, now one of the things that I invested in is the Echo water. This is hydrogen water, okay? This is Echo, and when you turn it on, it turns on the hydrogen. I don't know if it's picking that up, but the good thing about this type of water, it not only help remove inflammation, but it helps your digestive system to absorb the nutrients a lot better. You sleep better, you have more energy. I mean, it is just one of the most simplest hack for longevity of life. And then I put some Baja Gold salt in there. That's the first thing I have in the morning. But drinking water, quality water regularly, that is the sixth life hack. Now, the seventh one, of course, is shampooing your hair regularly and where it is scalp focused, because that's when you want to make sure you get all the buildup off, all the dirt product, and just give your hair that life that it needs, because our scalp is like soil to the follicles. We need to keep it clean, keep it happy, and it'll keep it flourishing, right? And then the eighth thing is to choose the right protective style. And when I say protective style, you know, our hair is already very vulnerable, right? So you really have to be careful on the protective style. And I mean like corn rolls that are too tight, right? If you started feeling like it's burning and I mean, it's just, you starting to get a headache, you know it's too tight, right? But what I found for this stage of life, the most, I guess, safest protective style is really a low manipulation style. And that is the flat twist or the 2-strand twist, 3-strand twist, or the braids, the individual braids. And I say that because those styles will allow you to gain access to your scalp, and it's not causing tension because they're too tight. And you can always take care of the ends, because even though they're low manipulating styles, you still have to take care of the ends, because protective style protects your ends with your length retention, right? Well, if you're doing the ends right on a low manipulation style, you can gain both. You can continue the growth, see the growth, and retain that growth by keeping those ends clipped and by sealing those in with something a little bit heavier, like butter or grease or heavy oil, something like that. So I hope you like this video. These are just some lifestyle hacks that can help you override menopausal hair loss. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, ring the bell, and let me know what you think about this video. And I'd like to know any special lifestyle hack that you've been doing, especially at this stage of life. You know, we can all learn something new, right? But definitely put it in the comments. And if you hadn't gotten your copy of the Diet Transformations for Massive Hair Growth ebook, definitely grab your copy. You can scan the QR code or click the link in the description box, because I'm telling you, on this channel, we're growing our hair naturally, one bite at a time and one recipe at a time. And so I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Be blessed. Mwah.